This episode of Chew Quieter is sponsored by LiftedForLess.com. LiftedForLess.com is your one-stop online marketplace for top-quality parts and accessories for your Jeep, Bronco, or truck, carrying great brands like Rockcrawler Suspension, Savvy Off-Road, Rigid Industries, and many more. With a wide range of products designed to enhance your vehicle, trust LiftedForLess.com to provide you with the best in the industry. And Rub One, revolutionizing the way you wash and protect your Jeep, truck, and side-by-side. Easy-to-use products designed to give your ride that perfect finish, whether you're on the streets or on the trails. With optional low-pressure or high-pressure foam cannons, Rub One has you covered. Get yours now at rub-one.com.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Choose quieter.
Fucking podcasting right now.
Chew Quieter.
And now, to the podcast studio.
Welcome back to Chew Quieter, everyone. I am one of your hosts, Gabe Mercado. We have Armando Verdugo with us and Chris Meehan, our other two hosts. And our guest today is none other than Scott Blum. How are you?
Pretty good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
So, Scott, I'm just going to start by saying this. It's not your fault that your old CEO got fired.
100% his fault. Come on.
No, it is his fault. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's one thing that Scott's done wrong that's come good.
It's not your fault that Stellantis has having some issues. It's not your fault that the Jeep sales are down. So I just wanted to lay that out right now because everyone always blames you.
Still blaming him.
So how does it feel to have a new boss?
I mean, right now we don't really have one yet.
Oh, you don't? I thought you did. That's replaced him.
We have a interim boss. Council. Yeah, I don't know. It's different for sure. Yeah, some of the policies we had before have faded away slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. They're supposed to have our new actual CEO sometime in the first half of this year. So there's a council that handles it now, but they're going through, looking for somebody new to officially be the CEO.
Just so everyone knows that's new to the show and doesn't know who Scott is. Scott is product development. What are you exactly? Product development? I always forget.
Yeah, so I spent 10 years doing product planning for Wrangler, right? Wrangler and Gladiator, essentially determining what we should do to the vehicles. I switched jobs probably 2 years ago now, so now I work in the evil side of compliance. But I still obviously stay involved in all the Wrangler stuff and get asked a lot of questions. Figured if you can't beat them, join them. So that's where I kind of went with. We'll see how that plays out with the changes. But yeah.
So, as far as compliance, you have to deal with the government mandates on EVs and EPA and that sort of thing.
100%. Yeah, the group I'm in handles CAFE, GHG, carbon net zero, ZEV compliance, EVs, everything. Yes.
Ah, man.
So I'm right in the middle of all this stuff. It's fun.
Oh, it is fun.
Yeah.
So you're a DEI guy.
Yeah, I fit the mold for that, right? Which is why I see a lot of, like I said, the changes we've seen. Again, anything I say is my own personal view, not reflective of the company. There's my disclaimer for the episode.
Right.
Right. But the changes we see, obviously, I see a lot of them because of the group I'm in. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, we'll see. I'd say there was probably too far one way before. And then we'll see where we play now, right? Especially with our demographics. I mean, Dodge people are super happy about the new Charger, So we'll see how they.
I hear you're super excited about the new Charger.
Yeah.
Well, and the Ram people weren't so happy with the new TRX idea and engine.
Yeah, the Ram one's weird. I think like Tim actually said it at the auto show here was like, everyone's mad because the Hemi's gone. Which, you know what? I own 2 Hemis, right? So I love the sound of a Hemi, right? But if you actually compare it to the Turbo 6 truck, the Turbo 6 truck's better in pretty much every way you can think of. Minus sound. The sound is terrible.
Performance-wise, but yeah.
You can't beat a straight 6. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just I had a conversation with someone at work today. It was like about that idea. I'm like, it's probably a better engine. It's more horsepower. It's designed to perform specifically for that vehicle. But everyone's
it doesn't make the sound. That's the problem. Is the sound is the only difference.
Yeah. Like
I
so
test drove.
You guys
I think the first time I had one, I drove it for about a week. Like I had a Grand Wagoneer, and the thing was quick as could be, right? But it was like the quietest, most refined thing ever. It's a straight 6, right? I mean, it doesn't make a vibration, nothing. Which compared to the old, I don't know if you guys have driven like the Grand Wagoneers. The previous one, I think the guy that did the Charger Scat Pack must have done the exhaust tuning on the Grand Wagoneer, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like my 392 Hemi. And then now the new one's faster. It just doesn't have the sound.
Yeah, there's no sound. So you guys need to hire the Kia Stinger engineer that engineers exhaust sound to come from the vehicle when it doesn't really have exhaust that exists.
Yeah.
So it comes through this, I think it just comes through the sound system. It's not like
it's possible.
It's not like it goes out the exhaust where like from outside you hear it. It's just inside, so you hear it and you feel like you're actually in like a vibration a little bit.
Are you sure you just don't have a bad ground and you're getting engine noise?
It's the weirdest shit. No, there's a setting, and you just go in there, and I can turn it up the max to the min to the max, and it controls how much I can hear the motor. And I don't. It's not outside. It's all.
No, it's the audio system.
Cabin. Yeah, it's all in the cabin.
Yeah, because I went I think it was about a month ago now. Maybe it's been 2 now. I went on a big drive where we drove all the EVs. Right, we had Teslas, Rivians, Hyundais, everything, and the one Kia. I don't want to call it a minivan. It's more like an SUV. EV.
The EV6.
Same thing.
EV6.
It has that same audio system. Like everyone makes fun of the Charger. The Kia does it too. And both of them, if you're not used to having one, as corny as some people think it is, I actually preferred it because it gives you some kind of feedback, right? You're so used to hitting your foot on the gas pedal and hearing something.
And hearing the feedback. So like usually that people say, like electric, you don't even know it's on. You don't know it's working. Like, at least you're getting some feedback that RPMs are kind of going up and you're getting some movement out of the vehicle.
Yeah. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I preferred the ones that actually did it. I didn't even know the Kias did it until I drove one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the Stellantis? Was it the Charger or the Charger EV? One of them had the same thing built in, didn't it? Or was
the Charger has it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Charger one's different, though. The Charger one's actually external. It's actually got an entire exhaust system outside of the car that's all chambered. It's loud. It's as loud as a Hellcat. It's ridiculous. If you put it in, if mine was here, it's not here yet. It's next week. If it was here, I'd show you. It is. I mean, it's actually loud. If you go into like track mode, it's almost obnoxiously loud.
That's crazy.
Sounds like a cat. Meow.
No, it does. It does to a point. It's gotten better. They had I remember hearing the first version like 2 or 3 years ago, and then it was more electronic, and it got better over time.
Yeah, it's like when you used to sit at the lights back in the old days with the V8, and you go, man, it's just purring at the lights. That Charger's going to sit there going.
Well, have you seen? I mean, some of them are getting like. I saw an ad for the new Mustang the other day, right? And you can do that with your key fob now. Like you can rev the car. I was like,
yeah, guys do it with their V6s. I'm like, dude. He's like, hey, look at me, man. Look what I can do. Can your Mercedes do this? I'm like, what, dude? He goes, watch. And it revs up. I'm like, dude, that sounds like shit.
Let's just be very clear. I mean, this is a clear message for Doug. Please use that key fob. It saves the crowds, right? If you're not in the car, it can't go in the crowd. I mean,
very true. Very true. Well, Doug's building that car to attack more people because he keeps adding performance stuff to the vehicle. So he's increasing the chances of either hitting a tree, a curb, or killing someone.
Oh, he better not put street slicks on it.
Well,
no, but we already know it's going to come out of the shop. He's going to drive it around for a weekend and sell it.
Yes.
And buy another one.
Yep.
Start over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds like
he'd be scared of the power, I think.
Yeah. Not that I should talk. Like, I'm terrible for selling cars, but
there's a reason why you sell them.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to bring you on again is because recently there's been a lot of videos being posted to the internet. Why the Jeep brand is dying, why Stellantis is in trouble the way it is, and there was one that fed me to another video on YouTube, and then the algorithm just kept feeding me the same kind of material.
Right.
And I was like, holy fucking shit! Like, is this what people are really thinking? And is it really that bad? So that's what I want to ask you. Is it really that bad at Stellantis, or is it media driven? Is the brand being tarnished because of this? I mean, again, this is just your opinion. We want to tell people that this isn't the official.
Right.
You're not the official spokesperson.
Things are down for sure, but the media blowing it out of proportion side is far exceeds like reality. I mean, I don't think we've released our final numbers from last year, so I can't say what they are, but I mean, you're still talking, I think they showed, I can't remember. We published our sales. It was like, we sold like 1.3 or 1.4 million cars last year, which is down, but if you read the media, you'd think we sold 7, right? Like it's not as bad, but it's definitely down, right? I mean, there's things that were done, pricing stuff, right, that probably went a little crazier than some others did and didn't back off fast enough, which is happening now. Wranglers especially. Like if you think about a Wrangler, right? I remember
$60,000 for a Wrangler. Like who?
60. 70. I've seen 3.6 and 2 liter fully loaded Wranglers that cost the same as the sticker was on my 392 4 years ago.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So clearly that's going to cause a problem.
So
now
is this the dealer's fault, or is this Stellantis saying this is
it's pricing?
It's corporate. Yeah,
it's pricing. Okay. It's pricing corporate. Yeah, the MSRP is pushed at by corporate,
right?
And then the dealers can only run off of that because their net comes off of that price. So however they're going to wheel and deal is going to go from there.
I mean, everyone did it, right? If you go back and look at, when COVID hit, cars started being short in supply, right? And that naturally drove the dealers started charging tons of markups. All the OEMs are like, well, if the dealers are getting this, we're all going to, get in on the action. And everything just went up. And then the suppliers, a lot of people think that it was just purely, oh, the OEMs are making all this money. It wasn't, because it was the way down to the supply base, right? The guy that makes the airbags starts charging 20% more. Then that drives you to charge 20%. It just snowballs.
Yeah, when every piece that takes to build it is more, it's going to cost more in the end.
Yep.
Is
having
having
as
more
inflation goes.
Yeah.
Look,
people start backing off. If you start
having
Ford
more
and Chevy
blame.
start backing off.
The only people to
is
blame
having
the
more of a
people who keep
luxurious
buying new
line
cars.
also to blame? Like, because it increases the value of the brand, but it also increases the value of the other vehicles that aren't within that price point, but they're creeping up to that price point. So
the
for
challenge
example,
you had there too was the same thing. You saw the same thing. So during COVID, again, I can't explain it, right? Someday some, financial person's going to look back and try to put together a theory on what the hell people were thinking. But we were building vehicles that, $50,000 Wranglers, and they wouldn't sell. The ones that were 65 were selling as quick as you could make them. So of course the dealers started ordering all the premium ones for trucks. If you looked last year and went to Ford, GM, or us, right? The whole place is full of Platinums and, I don't know what Chevy's top brand is.
Denali or AT4. Denali and AT4 are typically on the GM side.
Yeah. And it was because you could only build a certain number of trucks and you had demand for more. So they were ordering all those. Then the bottom fell out, right? And now they're all sitting on these $100,000 trucks. Well, they won't order anymore until they can sell the ones they have. And people stopped buying them when interest rates went to 7-8%. I'd say we probably backed off slower than some other people did, which hurt us, right? But that's a challenge. They're trying to fix it. It's just the cycles aren't fast, right? You can screw up stuff in a year, and to recover that takes a few.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
interest rates. The interest rates are probably the biggest factor because I would have already had a TRX if I didn't go and see that you're at 7.7% interest rate.
Right.
to go
And
to
even
to go to TRX.
the
And it was
premium
it's
cars, I mean,
crazy.
you don't see it as much. Like TRX, 392, like Bronco Raptors, stuff like that. You see them fall off some, but realistically, the guy that's going to spend 120 grand in a truck, he might, wince a little bit more, but he probably still has 120 grand. The one you really see it is the guy that came in and leased a 4xe Wrangler in 21, and it was $400 a month. And he comes back in now, wants to lease another one, and it's $900 a month. And then they're like, well, what do I do? Right? They can't buy the one they have because, I mean, it's underwater, right? And then they get mad. Part of it's pricing, a lot of it's interest, and then they get mad and they walk, right? And then once you lose someone, getting them back is hard. That's a struggle you get into, right? Once it's hard to conquest people.
Do you know what the ratio of Bronco sales to Wrangler sales were in the past 3 years? 2 years?
Wrangler's always won. It got pretty close. What are we in 20? In 23, it got pretty close to where they were almost a parity. Broncos never outsold Wrangler.
I didn't think they
last
did.
year-
I keep hearing people saying that the Bronco did, and I don't think they ever
I've never seen
even
that.
touched those numbers.
if that happened, you would know it because Ford would tout that everywhere.
Right.
I mean,
right.
it would be literally everywhere. They got close, but they never actually passed it. That I know of. And again, they're struggling too. If you go to a Ford dealer right now, the dealer down the road from my house, they've got, I think, 5 Raptors, like Bronco Raptors sitting there. And they have the same problem, right? So they were competing with Wrangler. So they were raising the price just as fast as Wranglers were. And now they're having the same problem. And then they launched the Ranger Raptor, which is like $40,000 cheaper than a Bronco Raptor.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess my video is just going to keep brightening, darkening for us.
It's a rolling shutter. It's a rolling shutter.
keep you
So
awake.
that's going to happen. Yeah. So I actually
It's the canvas.
I went to the Ford dealership near me in November because they had $10,000 off MSRP, and I was like, "That's attractive." I like the Ranger Raptor. I want a Ranger Raptor, so I went, looked for one, didn't have one. They had one Ranger. It was an XLT, and it was marked up way high. So I said, all right, I'll just peek at the F-150s because they do have that $10,000 MSRP off tag on them. And they're still $70,000 for like an XLT or what's the one right above it that's not exactly like the high end? It's like the XLT.
I think it's a Lariat.
Yeah.
Lariat.
Yeah. I was like, it's still too high for this truck that's not a very big engine.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do with all of those F-150s. There was a lot of them. And even with that 10,000 off, they weren't selling.
I'll get rid of them soon because it's going to become up to a year old, and they're just going to have to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's a tough spot because it's, again, if you read the media, it's only Stellantis. It's not. It's all of them.
It is a good one.
And the problem you have is like, if you don't help the dealers get rid of them, the dealers stop ordering new cars, right? Well, OEMs, people think that OEMs make money when you go buy a car. We make money when the OEM sells it to the dealer, right? You're buying a car from a dealer. You're not buying it from Chevy or Ford or Ram. You're buying it from a dealer, right? So when they stop ordering cars, that's what affects the financial statements of all the car companies because they take revenue when the dealer buys the car. Now we may finance it for them, right, with floor plan and all that stuff, but it's the actual sale is from the OEM to a dealer. So that's how they get it. They'll just stop ordering cars. And then if they stop ordering cars, you have to do something or you have to sit back and see who's going to win, right? it's like butting heads, like who's going to win, who's going to give first. And it's like Russian roulette, right? Like who's going to win? It's not a good place to be in. I guess we'll just put it that way.
Do the manufacturers ever repossess vehicles from the dealers?
Take them back? No.
Once it's
no, they just put incentives on them.
Okay.
Yeah, because
once
you do that, it's a flood. If you did that once, it'd be a floodgate. And that's a challenge. So they had I don't know the exact numbers because thankfully I don't work in sales, but I know we dropped like 150,000 vehicles out of inventory in Q4 of last year, purely on incentives. So like they're all like, people say, oh, it doesn't work, but if you actually look, I mean, you dropped half of our, it's either a third or half of the volume of cars we had in the ground got sold in Q4 of last year, just by pushing severe incentives, right? It obviously costs you profit, but you have to get them gone.
And it's rare that Jeep will offer incentives on the
Right.
Wrangler. So I think when people
Even
see
Wrangler's
them,
not that
they jump on
not
it.
much. Yeah. Gladiator has a lot of them. Wrangler, they had some there, but not much. Gladiator, I think, is back up. I think I saw 20% off Gladiator things again last week or this week. I think I saw that again.
Yeah, 'cause I just think the Wrangler just always moves. They always know they're going to have someone moving the Wrangler.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They typically do, yeah.
Do you see a timeline ending for the Gladiator, or do you think this is going to be just like the Wrangler? Just it's going to keep going and keep going.
I wish I could tell you. You're never going to dethrone Toyota. I mean, the Tacoma is mid-size truck, right? So Chevy came in, Ford came in, we came in, a bunch of people came in, took a little bit of sales from Toyota, but essentially what's happened is they've grown the mid-size truck market. So if you go look at before they came in, each of those people came in and they're selling some trucks, but Toyota hasn't dropped that much. They've dropped some, but not relatively, maybe 10%. Those trucks do somewhat well, but it's like this big cycle, right? If you remember last time mid-size trucks were popular, the challenge you had was they started getting to the point where they cost as much as a half ton. And now when you go in to look at a half ton truck or a mid-size truck, and they're the same price and there might even be better incentives on the bigger truck, people start buying the half ton and then the mid-size go away. For me, that cycle is, you're starting to see it again now, right? Like, go price out a fully loaded. I mean, look at your new Tacoma. Go look at a brand new Tacoma, and it's
too expensive.
It's expensive, and a lot of it's tied to. I mean, they're trying to make money, but they had to add. I think it's got that twin turbo engine. Those engines are twice as expensive as the old naturally aspirated engine.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I think the Gladiators do well enough that I don't think they're in danger. But they don't do great, right? So the risk you always run is if you don't sell enough of anything, people don't spend the money right? If you don't make money, it's hard to spend money to make it better. But if you don't spend money to make it better, then it's hard to sell them, right? It's just like it's catch-22.
You think that's what happens to the Dart?
I mean, the last Dart?
Yeah. I liked the Dart, but it was just a bad
Did
motor.
you drive one?
I did. I test drove it.
Oh,
Okay.
You know what? Now I've just lost all respect for you.
Actually, I take that. The 200.
Wait, you still had some?
Good.
the 200
I'm
and
not
the
talking about
Dart.
Scott. I'm talking about Gabe.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Gabe. He wants a BMW station wagon. Come on.
Yeah, but then
Hell yeah.
you can't talk about a Dart and go, you know what? I want a performance car. It's like
Well, it was a long time ago. I'm not saying I test drove it
what,
yesterday.
20 years
been-
ago.
10. It's been
No.
10 now.
Yeah.
They did. The thing was, they were okay. The 2-liter was okay. The 1.3 was terrible. Like the 1.3, the base engine was not great. The 2-liter was okay. The problem was people wanted a neon, right? They had flashbacks of the old neon, right? Which, right, wrong, or different. Neons, they sold a lot of neons,
Yeah.
back then. It wasn't that, and I don't know. I don't know why it never took off. Just small cars in the U.S., especially in that time frame, just even today, they just don't do. The only one that's able to do it is Toyota with the Corolla, and Honda does a decent job. Everyone else has basically dropped small cars.
Yeah, you're right.
Stewards
I've
don't buy
seen more and more of the crossovers and less of the sedan or coupe.
Yeah. The best-selling segments in the world are C size, like Compass size SUV. That's the best-selling vehicle around the globe, which is why like the Model Y Tesla was the best-selling car in 2023. I think it was number 2 last year. That segment is everywhere. So even overseas, they're buying small, SUVs, not sedans.
I know you don't have any insight at Nissan, but what's your take on the merge with Nissan, Honda, and I think it was Mitsubishi that's going to join?
Yeah. I don't know what's in it for Honda. Like, I don't know. Are they going to make a Honda GTR? I mean, I don't know. Besides that, I don't know.
I don't know what's in it for Mitsubishi. I see what Honda
Well,
do.
The way that I heard it,
a lifeline for Mitsubishi.
yeah, the way that I heard it was that each manufacturer has its niche. I guess Nissan has a foothold with EVs, and Mitsubishi has a foothold with autonomous driving vehicles. They have a lot of R&D already involved with that. So I can see why Mitsubishi or why Nissan would be attracted to that, because it saves them a little bit of legwork and money using Mitsubishi's technology.
Yeah, they already own a part of them. They Nissan already owns, like, I can't remember what stake. They have a large stake already in Mitsubishi. So that part doesn't surprise me. It's the Honda part. I just don't know. I mean, Nissan's, there's a couple of cars that are decent. It's weird.
So I think the idea would be everything gets on a Honda chassis, a Honda motor, and then kind of unified across the lines with that, kind of like the Hyundai Kia collaboration, where they're all on the same chassis and they use a similar motor and controls and stuff like that, and then they each add their own style and performance on the side of that, without having a full R&D for three companies. They can basically combine the R&D into one and then split it out. So it makes sense for a development side and for mass production side. So I can see where
that's what we do.
Is. Yeah.
If you think about it, that's why
Nissan struggles in the US only.
Mm-hmm.
Nissan struggles with sales in the US only. Everywhere else, like Australia, Europe, they don't have problems with sales. It seems America just doesn't. They just can't get on board with the Nissans. Sorry, Nissan.
Yeah, it's. I mean, part of it's probably. It's weird too, because there's like a Nissan and Renault are tied together too, right? So that's, but they're not part of this deal. So I don't know how that works because Renault is tied in with the French government too, right? So then you get into this weird government stuff, and I don't know.
It's like, who is that again, Scott?
Renault. How do you say it?
It's pronounced Renault, right?
Renault.
Yeah,
it's Renault.
I just didn't enunciate that.
You just don't watch enough Formula One. It's Renault.
Yeah, I know. Wait, Renault has a Formula One team? Do they finish?
They used to. They used to.
Do they compete with Alpha? Or Alpha and then the ones that compete for the back?
Alfa Romeo is gone. They've been replaced by Audi. But what's funny is it's an Audi team, but they're still using Chris, help me out here. Is it Porsche? Is it the Porsche? Well, they're not using their own power unit. They're not using Audi yet.
I haven't taken any interest in it because Cadillac wants to come into Formula One. I'm sorry, dead against it. It's a European sport. Americans just can't stay out of shit.
I don't know. I disagree with that. It's not a European sport.
It is. It's been European forever.
Racing is a worldwide sport.
Formula One was not. You had IndyCar. That was your Formula One.
But it's not Formula One. It's IndyCar.
Yeah, but they look like Formula One cars.
Yes, a different circuit. Completely different circuit. Different technology, different.
Yeah, because they didn't want to come to F1 life. They couldn't afford
I will enjoy watching Cadillac because it's a team that I can cheer for that's American. Because I mean, even though Haas is part of it, Haas is really not an American team. It's just they have an American
Haas is going in with Cadillac?
No, Haas is running. They're going to run Toyota Motors.
Oh, because I was going to say if Haas had anything to do with Cadillac, they'd be at the back, so it's all good.
Well, I think Haas is going to improve quite a bit this year with their
They've been saying that for the last 5 years.
Well, every year they're
going to be better.
Doing a little bit better than the previous, but they're still going to be behind.
We'll see.
The pack. They're still going to be a third tier team, I think, in F1.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I won't lie.
Yeah.
You've got to get involved with it.
It's not that
such
I
a
don't
good
like
watch.
it. It's just that I don't know.
Don't
You don't like Formula One?
It's just that
I don't have
like it.
time.
Well, that's
I
the
don't
great
watch
thing
as much
about
as
it.
I used to.
The races are on Sunday morning.
Yeah, but that's when I sleep. I do. I should watch more of it. I was going to go. Was it last year? I was going to go up to Canada, so the one in is it Montreal.
Yeah.
Because from here it's not far. I can drive to Montreal. It's much more economical than
Going to
anything in the
Vegas?
US.
Yes, definitely.
It's like Jeremy's like, man, Formula One's coming to Vegas. We should all go. And we start looking at tickets like $5,000. I'm like, pass.
You have to wait until like the day of to get tickets because they go down.
Yeah.
So the
I
way
used
I
to
hear
go
it
to
is
Melbourne
people.
every year, and it cost me $75. That's
Yeah, I was
like
about to say
$35 American to go and watch Formula One.
it's cheap. I priced it. It's cheaper to fly to Italy,
Mm-hmm.
get an Airbnb, get your tickets for all 3 days. It's cheaper to fly out and do that in Italy and watch a race at Monza than it is to go to circuits of the Americas or Vegas or Miami.
Yep.
The prices for F1 in America is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's big
Let's be
business.
real. I'd rather go to Italy than go to Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would too. Yeah,
So I'm gonna go watch a
Especially
race.
that part.
Yeah, I'd rather
Especially
see
that
Italy.
part of Italy.
Did they even have barbecue in Italy?
No, they don't.
That's not
Fuck
why you go to
Italy.
Italy.
Fuck Italy.
That's why you go to
Fuck Italy.
I heard they
The
have good
pizza and the
pasta.
pasta.
I'm going to Texas.
Well, you can go to Texas right now. Make sure you take a coat.
Texas barbecue's not even that great. It's all about Tennessee barbecue,
All right,
Memphis.
all right, I'm out.
No, no, no.
Depends where you are in Texas.
No, I have to disagree with that. I'm still yet to have better barbecue than I have in Texas, and I've traveled a lot. Remember,
Yeah,
if I see
Yeah,
a barbecue
Memphis-
place, I go into
Memphis
it.
barbecue is the original barbecue, and then it's spread out.
Well, Memphis barbecue still like the vinegary
No, that's
style
Texas.
sauce? Is that
Actually, no,
Texas?
that's North Carolina. I think that's North Carolina. To be
North
honest,
Carolina does vinegar and mustard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vinegar and mustard base, and then Memphis is good tomato base.
Yeah.
You can tell how much I travel.
Come visit.
Scott
Which
goes
chain
to
restaurant?
So
Come visit-
Scott goes
come
to
visit
Moab
Tennessee.
and work. That's all he said.
Yeah, come visit Tennessee, and then me and you will go drive down to see Chris, and it's an hour away. Not even an hour away.
No, I'll come to you because Huntsville sucks.
oh,
Huntsville sucks when it comes to food.
Well, when I get my new car, I'll have to plan that out over a course of like 5 days. It's going to
Yes.
take me to get there.
We're all going to
Yeah.
meet up at Tail of the Dragon. You can't bring the Tacoma. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to leave a week early to meet everybody there.
Because he's going to have to. Because you have to plug into a tree every freaking half an hour.
Oh, it's every couple 100 miles. It's not that bad.
So it'll
How
take-
long does it charge? Does it take to charge?
I have no idea. It's 100 kilowatt hours. I figure you have a 50 amp charge. It's something like 8 hours from empty, I think. If on my level 2, if you go to a high speed charger, it's 20 minutes.
Mm.
20 minutes
still-
gets you like 80% range.
I still don't understand why they haven't put like solar panels on the roof and the hoods.
Elon
It-
talked
It
about
doesn't.
this.
It doesn't do enough. It's
Yeah,
the amount of
it's not
power.
enough.
It's
Even with
if
the
you put a
regen.
solar panel on your roof, couldn't even keep the battery charged to run your radio.
Oh, that's,
Like it's just not. You need a
That's
lot
why-
of surface area.
that's why these cars
Yeah.
are never going to work.
Yeah,
They'll be
it's a power density thing.
Yeah.
They'll be fine, I think, if it's bought purposefully for commuting in town. It's
Yep.
not a. It's not a. I'm going to go and save money by using my EV to drive from, Nashville to Vegas. It's not. It's not made for that. It's the way I see it now, and I used to be very big pessimist with EVs, but now the way I see it, they're commuter cars, plain and simple. That's
Yeah.
all they are.
I did read somewhere there's a road getting built somewhere. I think it might be Germany.
Mhm.
The
Charges them.
road charges the car as you drive.
Yeah, there's one in Detroit. They launched it
Oh, it
a year
is?
and a half ago.
Okay.
Is
I
it
saw that
magnets?
article. It's like the first road in the world. I'm like, there's one in Detroit. They launched it like 2 years ago. It's a very
does it
small
work?
area.
But does
Yeah, it
work?
does. Yeah. The problem you
it's-
have with it is I'm flashing back to like years ago when I was doing that stuff. Is it's magnetic, right? Wireless charging is magnetic.
Mhm.
So if a part falls off your car that is metallic onto said charging road, you can picture what happens to said object.
Yeah.
So they have to do a lot of detection, like you know, any kind of metal, they have to just shut it down.
Supers.
Yeah, I mean, you turn it into a projectile. I mean, it's like throwing a wrench into an MRI. It's
Yeah, throw a Coke can out the window. We're done.
What if they had tubeless tires, like this new technology that was it
Oh, that's been out.
Goodyear that's working on it?
Michelin. I think it was Michelin.
Michelin.
That has the tweel or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I can remember as a kid seeing that shit.
Mhm.
The wheel with all the little holes in it, and
Yep.
this and that, and I'm just like, man, they're still trying to get it right. That's like, you know what that is? That's like BFG trying to bring out a KM3 and a 42. That's
That'll be an
never
awesome
going to happen.
37. No, it will. I saw those 2 years ago.
So did I, but
Yeah.
where are they?
Yeah.
They're listed now. At least they're on the website. They're
No, they've
listed.
existed. They just changed the letter on the side to say 37. That's all they changed. They just... No, it's they'll be out eventually.
All right.
Eventually.
The problem you have is in the grand scheme of things, if you look at Michelin or Toyo, right? So Toyo, that owns Ditto, right? All those guys make industrial tires, right?
Mhm.
And those 42s on all of them go into their factories where they make semi tires and off-highway vehicles. I can assure you they're making more money for a tire for a mining truck than they're making for us,
Yes.
penny pinching bastards wanting 42s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if they have capacity, they do it. But if they don't, the bean counters will always push you to make what makes the most money.
Yeah, I just want to
And
have
I
a
hear there's
KM3
something
that's
about-
a true 40. That's all. You can
I heard
say
there's
42
something
on
about the
side.
molds also. The molds are used internationally, so they have to also comply with the European.
Yes. Yeah, they're
So
not
weird.
the European sized. They're not DOT sized.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, that's what Jonathan used to always say. That was his biggest argument. Well, it's because it's got to be European size. This is why they
That's
measure
who
out
I
to a
heard it from
37.
also, yeah.
It's okay. So
they don't sell Nitto in Europe.
Well, not
So-
really.
so the sizing thing is actually, if you look at it, because my wife's uncle retired from Michelin, right? So I used to give him crap all the time. He said there is a very, very specific SAE guideline on how to measure a tire. And if you look, he said, go look at their specs. So it will say, pick a Michelin, whatever, BFG, 37 KO2, KO3. It will tell you the size is 36.8 on a 10.5-inch wheel at 58 PSI. So if you take that tire and put it on a 10.5-inch wide wheel and blow it up to 60 PSI, it will measure what they tell you. At our pressures at 30 PSI, I probably just killed my microphone. At 30 PSI, right, it shrinks more, right? That's the difference, is just their tires tend to shrink more than others. And it's also probably explains why they're lighter, right? The sidewalls, if you think about it, the sidewalls are not trying to bash them, but they're thinner. Everything's thinner. So when you're inflating it, it's blowing up more. And when you're taking the air out, it's shrinking more. He's like, yeah, they're not marketing a tire, making it bigger. He goes, there's a literal spec for it. He's like, it's just that you're seeing more shrinkage when you take the air out. Yeah, it's colder for a BFG.
I have major shrinkage right now because it's like fucking 20 degrees
Cold as
outside.
shit outside.
Right. Yeah, it was.
Chris must be freezing right now because he's in his garage.
I can't feel. You know what? We had a frostbite warning.
A frostbite warning,
Yeah, dude. We had a frostbite warning.
or just a frost warning?
No, frostbite.
I've never heard of a frostbite warning.
Yeah, we had a frostbite warning.
Is that
It
where they
was,
warn you not to go outside in the snow because you're not used to it, so you're going to stay out too long? Is that
Maybe.
the frostbite?
That's probably how they try to keep people off the road.
Right.
You get frostbite. Don't go on the road. It's too cold. You get frostbite.
It was minus 15 here last night.
Yeah, we had 0 degrees here. Or those 3 degrees,
Yeah.
actually.
When I woke up this morning, here it was -5 with a wind chill of -22, I think it was.
Oh, God.
I went last night I ran to work to get fuel in my truck, and I always forget how slow the diesel pumps are when it's -5. It took me 15 minutes to fuel my truck, and I was like,
Holy
"This
shit.
is just ridiculous." I turned it on, got back in the truck. I'm watching my the gauge go up, and 10 minutes in, I'm still not even to 3/4 tank, and I was like, I about gave up, and then I just realized I don't feel like driving back there again, so I just sat through it.
Scott got on TikTok.
Yeah.
I was listening to podcasts because I had nothing else to do at the time.
Did you get rid of your TikTok, by the way?
I never had
No.
TikTok. I don't know. It's one of the few
Okay.
things I don't have.
So I heard if you deleted the app, you can't get it back because it's not in the app stores.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Someone's so the fun. This was the funny thing. Someone said a girl is selling her iPhone for $10,000 because it still has TikTok on it. And I'm
And
like,
some
you
dipshit
dumb.
will buy it.
Yeah,
Some
but-
dipshit will buy it.
But here's the thing, though. Why is it still on there? Because it's part of her iCloud. So whoever buys her phone has access to her iCloud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not smart.
See, I use
$10,000.
Android, so I could install whatever
Yes.
I want.
See,
I
this
just
is why,
hit a
that's
button.
why me and Scott are
Yeah.
good, because we're
Yeah.
Android people. We can just do it the fuck we want anytime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck you,
App
Apple.
Store doesn't have it. Just download it from a website and
Yep.
install it. and-
Just down
we'll,
here.
we'll APK that shit.
Yes,
APK,
Exactly. Yeah.
APK it in.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
not. We're not.
guaranteed to get my identity stolen by whatever APK I download off the web.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I have it.
Mine's fine. All my stuff on my phone says Gay Mercado, so it's all good.
That's where it
He
went.
gets hacked all the time.
Oh man, I just think it's a funny thing that there were so many people just like freaking out. How am I gonna make money? Get a job.
Hmm.
How am I gonna get these friends back? These followers? Who fucking cares?
Some of it I don't understand. Like, so if I look at YouTube, right? So there's videos or there's people sponsoring stuff on. If I go watch a Facebook short or TikTok, I don't understand how they make money. Like, I must just be not an
It's how-
influencer, clearly.
It's how many
Monetization on
counts they get.
Facebook. Monetization on Facebook is it's pretty difficult. Monetization on YouTube is a lot easier. I don't understand it how it works on Instagram or TikTok though.
Right. I don't, I just look at it. I'm like, I watched a 10-second short, right? You didn't pitch anything to me. So I'm assuming nobody paid you.
And there's
There's
no
no
ads.
ads. So I'm
Yep.
like, how are you? But there's people that make millions
It's
of
the
dollars
views.
doing it.
Yep,
and
it's the views.
Don't understand it.
Well, right now they're saying, well, I think when it was gone for 12 hours, it came back and Facebook owns it.
I saw that somewhere.
I heard Mr. Beast bought it.
Nope. I can guarantee you Facebook owns it.
Yeah.
Because
I also heard Elon was going to buy it. So who knows what the
Yeah.
truth is?
well, you can tell because so if you go onto your TikTok and click on your profile, there's a little cloud above your head. You go onto Facebook and click on your profile picture, you'll have a cloud above your head. Instagram now has the same.
Yeah, because
Wait
it's
for it.
Meta, right? Meta
Yep.
owns Instagram too. Yeah.
Correct, has the same platform look as TikTok. Everything after 12 hours, when everything got relaunched back, everything looked the damn same. And right now, on TikTok, I'm getting, on Facebook, I'm getting more TikTok stories that they weren't even on Facebook. These people were only on TikTok. So everything's migrated. So I don't know if Trump said something to Meta and said, look, it's going to be banned for a little bit. Let's not make it banned. We'll move all the TikTok data to a server that Meta has. And then
But how do they do that if they don't own the data?
Well, it was... So this
According
is
to this article that I was just looking at, that was just a rumor that Meta does not own it.
I'm telling you,
ByteDance still owns it. ByteDance,
Well,
whatever it was.
but they both look very much the same. And the server that it went to is in North Carolina, which is a Meta server. And so Trump said too that if it disappears, it's worth zero. So they want to bargain and have Americans own half of it, which can be made to be $1 trillion business
Right.
because it generates a lot of money.
But we haven't seen anyone buy it. We haven't heard any news. These are all just rumors.
Yeah, but they're not going to tell you yet, are they?
Why wouldn't they? It's a big deal.
Because
That means once they buy it, that means the stock of that company would go up, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they announce it?
Yeah, it's true.
I can tell you why. Because 6 months ago, a senator that was trying to ban TikTok went and bought. I think he spent like $1 million in buying Meta stock.
I'll tell you what, I'll go to work tomorrow. I'll email our chairman because he's now on the board for Meta, and we'll see if he'll give us any inside stuff.
I'm pretty sure he ain't going to tell you shit.
No, he wouldn't tell me anything. He'd tell me as much as he'd tell me about Ferrari, that he also is the chairman of.
Ask him to ask Zuckerberg what he thought of Bezos' wife's or fiance's.
Oh my
moves.
God, that was funny.
Just ask if he got a good view or not.
Did you see that, Scott?
No, I saw a picture of all of them behind Trump at the thing, and I was like, there's people worth $1 trillion sitting in the front row, right?
Uh-huh.
If you just add those 5 people together, or 4 people, whatever
Yeah,
it
but
was.
did you see Bezos' girlpeek though? She was
I saw one picture. I didn't look.
Yeah, she's like, well, Zuckerberg did. He was like,
oh, he took a big peek, like a big long peek at those tits. Like, yeah, she was wearing the halter
I didn't
top.
watch any of the stuff. I was like, I'm not even.
Bush looked like he was stoned.
I did see that like an hour ago. I saw some video, like
God.
some short of that, and I was like, oh, that was funny.
He's like, Biden wasn't hardly there, but he was off with the fairies somewhere.
Yeah.
He's grinning and like, everyone.
And then he woke up when Carrie Underwood came out. He started staring at that ass. That's for damn sure. He's like, I want to smell her hair.
I can't remember what I was doing because that was Monday. We were off because it was a holiday, and I can't remember what the heck I was doing. Next thing I knew, it was like 4:00, and I'm like, oh, I missed all that stuff. Whatever.
Yep.
I watched almost every minute of the inauguration, the parade, like everything except the ball. I didn't watch the ball. Fuck that.
Okay.
Don't need to see that.
Look, I just want to know one thing of the inauguration is what Barron Trump said to Biden. Did you see that?
I did see him
He
on the way out.
wiped the smile off Biden's face. Whatever he said to him, Biden's face went. It's like he just.
I don't know, but there's a lot of people saying that Barron is going to be a big political figure in the next 10, 15 years.
He will be. Guarantee it.
That's his youngest one, right?
Yeah, but apparently he's really smart.
Yes, he's going to be he's going to be bigger than his father. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you see with all the cheers that he got at the arena.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I'm
crazy,
telling you, dude. Like he's been groomed very young to be where he is right now. He was told he's if you watch back, he hasn't smiled for the last 6 years. He's been very stone-faced, no emotion, no nothing, and he's just done what he's done, and they don't know how to take him. Whereas now, since the inauguration, he's come out smiling, happy, playing to the crowd. So you watch the next couple of years where this boy's going to go.
Yeah. It could also be his upbringing. I mean, his mom is from Slovakia, and that's how they are over there. They're very stone-faced people. I mean, look at how she looked throughout the whole fucking inauguration. She was stone-faced.
Yeah, like she's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever. I
Yeah.
can't
Watch
read,
out.
Yeah, I can't read that woman because when she smiles,
she's all, I'm taking people out for this
Yep.
this time.
Yes.
You want to talk shit about me? I'll fucking take you bitches out this time.
yeah, like she smiles and it's like a. So it's like,
Yeah.
is she happy? Does she not want to be there? She's the hardest person to read.
Yeah.
Like, does she not like Donald Trump because sometimes the way she looks at him, like, is like she there against her will? It's that kind of shit. When you look at her, it's like, oh, I don't really want to dance with you, but I kind of have to because people are looking at me.
There's probably times, I would imagine, if you were in a fly in the wall, like at night, she's like, did you actually say that? Did that actually, right? Because I say it, right? So you can just only imagine if, again, there's certain things you're just like, what in the, did you say that out loud?
Yep.
I guess there's some stuff in her book that it kind of like alludes to that.
Yes.
Like she brings him down, like knocks him down a level like no one else can.
Yeah.
So
That's true
there might
love
be
right
something to
there.
that. Yeah, there might be something to that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So Obama wasn't, Michelle Obama wasn't there, but Barack was. And then I saw later on in the day, Jennifer Aniston has been hanging out quite a bit with Barack Obama. There's a rumor that they're dating.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle and Barack are,
yeah.
Michelle and Barack are rumored to be splitting up. And
Well, she wasn't at the
the
funeral
rumor-
either.
Okay, yeah, she wasn't
Yeah.
at the. What was weird was she wasn't at the funeral either. Yeah, that's weird to have two things you're not at. I think
Mhm.
that's. I mean, I don't want to spread rumors, but that seems
Look.
odd to me.
The truth's
Right.
going to come out that Barack finally likes women. That's how it's going to come out. And there was Jennifer Aniston that bought him out.
That'd be wild if that's true.
Yeah, we'll have to ask.
Like,
Ellen.
how did that
I bet
happen?
She knows.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would happen. I don't know.
Can you imagine like Brock? Hey, Jennifer, loved Friends. That was such a great show.
How you doing?
Can I be Chandler?
Hey, dude.
So yeah, it's the political scene is going to be a lot different in the next 4 years. I think it's we're going to see a lot of changing of the guard type thing. And
Yeah, the hard part is the question is what happens 4 years from now, right? Because the biggest problem you have is if you keep getting the back and forth stuff, it's just, at least like for me, for work, like it's nuts. Like this, when you don't know what's going on, right? So you get, if you're ping ponging from left to right, somewhere kind of in the middle area would be nice for a little bit of time. But I guess you won't know that for 2 years. Then maybe you'll know if it's going to stay a certain way or not.
my intuition says Trump passes a law either by executive order or the Senate does it. But I have a feeling there's going to be a law that says that's going to reverse what has happened in California and New York, and I think Massachusetts, where you don't have to have an ID to vote. I think it's going to. I think they're going to reverse. They're going to mandate federally reverse that and say the states have no say so when it comes to that sort of thing. That's going to regulate, or that's going to even out the voting. And on top of that, people are still saying right now that the line crossed me. I used to be left of center, and now I'm right of center because the leftists moved the line. Liberals moved the line. So now people are they're looking at themselves more right of center than left of center. So I think that's going to also help push more Republican votes for the next election.
I can see that. As long as Trump doesn't go completely off his rocker and go right. It's I think he's his own worst enemy.
I think JD Vance is going to check him a little bit too.
Yeah, that's possible.
Look, he's a different president to what he
Oh, yeah,
used
I
to
think-
be
yeah.
4 years,
Yeah,
6,
I agree.
8 years ago, whatever it was. He is a different person. He understands. Look, he came as a businessman, and he when you're a businessman, you talk to people a certain way because you demand it. There's no, like, it's either this is the deal or the deal's off, and that's how he came in first. Being the president, he just came in and just said, right, this is how it is. If you don't like it, we ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I think you're also, if you think about it, you're 8 years older than the first time, right? And you also, it matters for the next person what you do to help get the next person voted, but it's not you, right? You don't have to hold back for your second term because you're done.
Yep.
Unless you try changing the law when it's not, but whatever. So yeah, I think it changes some. I don't know. We'll see.
Won't he be? He's going to be 87 at the end of his term. 86.
Yeah, I have
Something like
no
that.
idea.
He still looks good for 86.
Yeah, he does.
Well,
He plays golf all the fucking time too, so
Yeah.
that helps.
Yeah. Well, did you see what? So, did you see the business that's coming into the US with AI?
Mm-mm.
They're called Stargate,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, man, imagine if they just got into portal technology.
I was gonna say yes.
I'm just like, here we go. It's because they've said it in the past. All these businesses are going to come out and they're doing AI, and everyone already said that Iraq was all about trying to find the Stargate, it was got nothing to do with oil. They're looking for an artifact. And here we are, Trump signs up, $500 billion business, and they're called Stargate. And they think, you know.
Some of it, yeah.
It's a little bizarre.
Some of the AI stuff, I think, we have people do AI stuff, right? I mean, I don't want to downplay it, but I think some of the stuff people say about AI and how actual self-aware, self-learning it is are a little bit over-exaggerated. I'm sure there's stuff people working on that we don't know about, right? That's more advanced. But I mean, go into Google and type in what is 3/8 bigger than 5/16, and Google AI will tell you it's not. Like, come on, that's like elementary. Like, type it in, you'll see it's right now live. It will tell you no, it's not. It'll tell you 3/8 is smaller than 5/16.
So it needs community notes.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to learn. That's how it learns.
It learns. The problem is it learns because we use it at work for stuff like customer service, right? So like, like the guys you call, right? So if you call and the guy or girl that answers the phone, you ask some random question about a 2015 Dodge Dart, they're, shuffling through, years of paperwork, or their computer can use AI to prompt you, right? Because it's already been fed all of the owner's manuals for the last 50 years. It's super helpful for that stuff because it can recite it and learn it. But if you feed it a bunch of crap, it learns crap, right? It learns whatever you feed it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened. What was it 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when it started out? It was very, very woke, and now it's been reprogrammed or programmed, whatever you want to call it, learning, evolving to be less woke. It was just 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when people were saying, oh, if you go and ask Siri who to vote for, it's going to tell you Kamala Harris. There was something going on with that. And so, yeah, you're right. It's going to learn. It's going to evolve. It's going to be better to the point where it's going to take a lot of, I don't want to say jobs from people, because there's still going to be jobs that people have to do, but it's going to take away some workload of those people, which
for sure.
Which should free them up for other things that computers or AI can't do.
So they've said, that's what they've said for us. Like they said, think about it like, because they pitch, I mean, you think about it like our stuff. If you go even to our headquarters, there's UAW folks at our headquarters, right? That do, I'll call it, I don't want to say like clerical office design work. I mean, the guys that mold the clay models, right? They're all UAW people. So like, they're always worried like, oh, is AI going to take my job? And they'll say, well, it may take your job, but it will create another job, right? That you may need to learn something new, a new skill, but it's not going to net take people's jobs.
Right.
Just like
And
you saw with, automating factories, right? You put robots in all these factories. Well, yeah, but now you have to maintain the robots. Somebody has to build the robots. I mean, it's right. It's different.
And it kind of goes back to the shipping, the docks. Was it in Texas? No, it was like Texas area that had the strikes.
It's the whole East Coast.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that
California's
they didn't
already
want
done.
was AI to be involved with the shipping, with the docks. But they were saying, okay, what we're going to do, because it is more efficient, we're going to have this AI. It is going to take your job, but we're going to teach you another job. We're going to give you another life skill. And they're still kind of like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, because they eventually think they're going to be pushed further out.
Well, I guess that's natural thinking.
Look what's happening.
I would
with,
think that too, I guess.
Yeah, look at Amazon. Amazon was all hands on. Go pick that box. Go do this. Pack that box. Now the robot goes around and just picks it from the shelf, and then brings it to the packing station.
Yeah, I think the one challenge I have too is some of the stuff you get is you may replace the current job, and then the job that replaces that isn't here. It's in India or somewhere else, right? So I mean, I could see some of the reservation, but it's I don't know.
Terminator
like
is 15 years away. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said
Like
it
the
now,
self-checkout.
Terminator
People are
is
saying
15
that
years away.
Like the self checkout,
exactly.
people are saying that the self checkout is taking jobs away from checkers.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still someone, like you said earlier, still someone has to make those parts. Someone has to put together the machine. Someone has to maintain the machine. Someone has to look over the machine. I don't know how many times you guys been to a self checkout, but there's always someone standing there making sure you're not.
Yeah, but it's only one
doing
person.
something.
There's
Right.
6 checkouts, one person. So those 5 jobs have gone. One person has it. So
Yeah, but there's
right
also
now-
20. There's also 20 lines or 20 registers and only 2 open
Yeah.
with one self checkout.
Uh-huh.
So it's not. They're not taking jobs from anyone from checking out because otherwise all those 20 checkouts would be open.
Yeah, and then we wouldn't have to line up 30 people behind us to get to those 6 checkouts.
Yeah.
I don't know what Walmart you go to.
I don't go to Walmart.
Like, so don't forget, you got the
Fuck
guy
that.
too at the exit that's checking to make sure you wrung out everything and ask for your
Yeah.
receipt.
Yeah, the old
So-
ass fucker.
So in Australia right now, it's called Woolworths, which is one of the biggest chains of supermarkets there. You grab your cart. I nearly said trolley. I didn't want to confuse you guys, so I had to put it into American.
Or buggy.
You grab your cart.
It's a buggy.
We don't call it buggies either. It's a cart.
It's a buggy.
You know what? So you grab your buggy cart and you pull in, and as you grab your cart, you grab the computer and you stick it on your cart, and as you're walking around, you scan your own barcode, put it in your
Hey,
cart, and you walk
Kroger
out the
does that.
door.
Yeah, Amazon
Walmart
has
does that
something
by me.
similar.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
Walmart's. Walmart does it by me.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
just
there's-
walk out. You pay for
there's
it
Kro-
on your
there's
app
Kroger's,
and walk
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon.
Our
Amazon
Kroger does
actually,
it. Our Walmart does it. Target does it. There's like the self checkout lines, and then next to it there's the self scanner lines, and it is the little handheld scanner. You scan it as you go, and then when you get to the end, it automatically goes on your card and prints you a receipt, and you just walk right out.
Okay.
Yeah, the Amazon one is a lot
And then
different, and I don't know how it works, but you basically walk in, you grab what you want, and you walk out. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't scan anyone, anything. So I don't know how
Yeah,
that one works.
Well, they know it's on the shelf, so it's like the scanner when you go in with like Circle K here, like you put it on the scanner,
Yeah,
like
it's
you
crazy.
get like you get like whatever, and you put it on the counter, and
I've seen
it's
that.
actually just using the image and just doing
Yep.
recognition, and it tells you exactly what it is. So they
But-
have all these cameras in there, but some of these are even sensors, so they have to get it right what's in that sensor that's on the shelf too.
Yeah.
So
I'll
it
give you a
knows
tip,
that
Armando,
they're
just so you
taking
don't
out-
get ripped off when you go to Circle K. Sometimes when it says buy 2 for $6, it doesn't give you 2 for $6.
Oh, I know, all the time. I do it
Circle
all,
K
I do it all the time.
Fucks you over.
I
all
do
the
it
time.
all the time. All the time.
I'm like, I'm buying 2 monsters, and where's my $6? It says $7.50. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, half the time it says I have one. It says I have one Rockstar. Then it says I have one Budweiser. I'm like, how the fuck do you get Budweiser? Like, who's buying a Rockstar and a Budweiser at the same time?
You. We know.
No,
it's
no, no.
okay.
I just buy
Arizona
two
people.
Budweisers.
The Arizona people.
Arizona people.
Yeah.
I gotta stop going to Mesa.
Who's buying Budweiser? Period. Like, do people still drink Budweiser? I don't know.
Mexicans.
That's where
Mexicans
all the
love
that's where the
Budweiser.
Budweiser went down to Mexico, didn't
Mexicans don't even drink that anymore.
What are they drinking now?
They're
Pacifico or
drinking,
something?
Modelo.
Like,
Modelo's
say
become,
Modelo.
Like,
Yeah,
Modelo is like the number one right now.
I saw not long ago like that. That's like the number one selling beer in the U.S. It said.
Yep.
In the U.S. Modelo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's overtaken everything because
Yeah.
they changed the pricing structure. They changed it into cans, so now you can get it in a
Dude.
12-pack or a pack now.
I've never seen
Because-
it in
And
cans.
there's 20
Because-
million more illegal aliens in here. So what do you think they're going to drink? That's why the sales are gone. They're through the roof. Damn illegals.
Yeah, I was surprised. I can't remember why. I think it was because I was on Facebook and somebody said something about Bud Light again, and I was like, I did a Google right to see if it actually was still impacting them, which it is slightly. But then that's where I learned I'd like Modelo. Like I've never even had one of those. That's the best selling beer in the country.
Modelo's good.
Yeah.
I'd crush Modelo Negra.
Yeah, I rarely ever. It puts me to
No.
sleep anymore.
I can't drink beer. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I haven't had beer for 3 months. Any alcohol for 3 months.
We can tell. Your skin's a lot clearer and looks a lot more, nice.
Dude, when I was drinking, I hit it so fucking hard. Like,
Oh, we know.
Like, yeah, we know.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. I mean, I had stopped drinking for almost it was 12 years. I stopped drinking, and then I realized, oh, my liquor allergy is gone. I can drink again, and I was like, I'm taking advantage of this shit now.
So was the last time you drank was when I was out there?
Yep. That was it. And even
Glad I
before
could help.
that, I wasn't drinking that much. I was trying to taper it off.
He's
So
weaning himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
He'd
I
only drink when
rarely
friends
ever
would come
do.
up.
It's my problem is I still work at home, right? So I go to work like once every 2
Fucking
weeks, maybe sometimes I go twice a week. So I just I don't know. I don't ever just feel like sitting at home drinking a beer or going out. I don't know.
You have legal
Weird.
weed out there?
Here, oh yeah,
That's why.
Yeah,
all
there's
that-
lots.
This is why the problem is.
What?
This is what the problem is. Scott's still working at home, and this is why the cars are coming out like crap. Because he's just sitting at home and goes, "I don't care what happens. I'm not
He's
there.
taking bong rips. Like,
He's-
fuck it.
he's-
Let's give him all the EVs.
No one's gonna come knocking on my door complaining. I'm
yeah.
all
So
good."
some of it just depends what you do, right? I mean, if you're working on a lot of the engineers are there more often. Like I spend half my day, well, I used to, not anymore now, but with Europe, right? Well, for me to drive an hour to work to go sit in a cube to be on a conference call with France, I can just skip that whole step and just call France from my house. Like,
Oh, hopefully
we,
a better camera than what you have right now.
no, I use the same computer.
Canvas
Same exact
95.
computer.
Yeah.
But it's but like now, so now that I do more stuff that's, I'll call it regional, like here, where I actually work with my coworkers here, then yeah, it makes sense to go to work, right? Like it's calling somebody from here to somebody that's 20 minutes away to talk to them. I'd rather just go drive there and sit beside them.
Mm.
It's just a balance.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I don't know.
So in closing, what are we expecting from Stellantis, Jeep for 2026 or 2025? I'm sorry.
Say 26.
I'm way ahead of myself.
Yeah, that's a whole year away. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
we're still in business. Just saying.
Well, 2025 is already out, so come on.
Yeah.
What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get for 2026?
Yeah, I know. I think you'll probably see the next, like this year, you'll probably see changes, right? You'll probably see us reverse some things, right? Make changes that we may have done and undo them. I don't know.
As far as cost on vehicles or vehicles themselves.
Probably all of it, right? Probably. I think you're going to see pricing's been coming down. Like they've been doing. I get emails that the dealers get every time they, update pricing. Usually it's like we increase this, we increase this. The last couple months they've all been decreases. Like we've dropped the price of whatever. So that's good. I think you'll see. I think some of the EV stuff will probably slow down across the whole industry, right? Because I think Trump's going to undo a lot of it.
Oh, he just did. He just signed the executive order straight away.
Yeah, but it'll take him. Him signing that last time he did, it took 2 years to actually. Because the challenge you have is the EPA has to literally rewrite stuff. Well, the people that work for the EPA aren't the most, non-environmental people, so that
No.
they don't drag their feet, but it takes time to do stuff. So, but I think you'll see that across the industry. You'll see some of the stuff shift.
We'll see how long it takes this time because apparently, if you're not quick enough, he's going to fire your ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like he just ordered every government worker. Your time working from home is now over. Be at work
Yeah, I saw
tomorrow
that.
at 8:00.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like-
it'll be. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting time, and it'll be. I think you're starting to see it in Europe too, because the challenge you have is if you see stuff here, if it doesn't happen everywhere, it's hard, right? Because if most car companies are global, right? I
Mhm.
mean, yes, the U.S. market's huge, but Europe is equivalent to the U.S., right? I mean, if you alienate one or the other, you'll screw yourself. So,
Yep.
um,
So what
I
about
think
this
it'll be
rumor?
interesting.
I heard a rumor that Jeep is going to let you option axles on the next Wrangler. Is in like a 60 or a 44. So like when they first brought the JL out, they optioned, like they took a lot of aftermarket options and put it as a factory option.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is this
That was me.
true-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that.
So is it going to be a
Good job.
true thing? Or they're going to start
I did that.
doing axle swaps?
I actually heard that was coming along with LSs from the factory. You could
LSs
get,
too.
LS?
Yeah, with an LS.
With an
you're
LS,
gonna be able to
okay.
get a hydrogen.
An
yeah,
Atlas.
I have to make sure when I answer that
An
to go so
Atlas.
far away.
Atlas, a 1500
Just
watt
shake your
sound
drink.
system.
Just shake your drink bottle and just give us the answer, and we'll see if we can hear it.
Yeah, that's why I just dropped it on. There's now half my. I'm watching the puddle move towards my laptop.
See, it's So he was nervous to answer that question, so it's probably true.
Yeah. The challenge you have is
He's like,
so
"Shit."
like axles are my favorite, right? So
Well, they're everyone's
me-
favorite.
to me, like regulations, right? The tires can't stick past the fenders.
Mhm.
So then you have two choices. Like if you think about axles, you can make a narrow 60 because everybody wants that. Who the hell wants a factory width 60? No one. Or you can pull a Ford to make your fenders
Wider.
28 inches
Flared like
wide.
crazy. Yeah.
Which
Swimming pools.
is doable, but and then you have to worry about like if you have like a 60, it doesn't clear the engine without raising the car. As soon as you raise the car, you get into crash testing. Like it's just snowballs. Is it possible? Sure. Is it likely? I don't know. Ask me in like 5 years.
Mm.
Ask me like 5
5
years or
when
10
Scott's
years, whenever
gone.
it's out. Yeah.
So here's a question that you probably will know for sure.
I know.
vehicles
I know the answer to that question. I just can't tell you.
the
Smoking
future,
mirrors.
the future of the more luxurious Jeep brand vehicles, is that going to be gone now?
The luxurious ones, how so?
Like the Grand Wagoneer, the Grand Cherokee, you know, the
I don't
higher
think those
end.
will go away. I think those premium cars actually sell. I know everybody bashes the Wagoneer.
I just haven't
I
seen
would-
many of them.
Yeah, you don't see many of them. Again, I'm biased probably. If you get behind the wheel of a Denali and you get behind the wheel of a Wagoneer and you think the Denali drives better, you either have a Chevy tattoo on your ass or you're just lying to yourself. Like at least the new ones, I mean, they finally ditched leaf springs, right? I mean, they had leaf springs till a few years ago. So I think the new ones are independent rear and they drive a little bit better. But like I think the Wagoneers, I mean, I think they drive great. They don't sell great. You know, everybody says, oh, they're $100 and some $1,000s. Mallory's last Wagoneer was like 62. It's the same as a Tahoe. Now,
Yeah, but it
don't get me wrong.
drives better.
Yeah, you can get $120,000 Grand Wagoneer.
And a Tahoe is an LS, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. My neighbor's Tahoe is on its third LS engine that's blown
LS?
up, and
Hey.
they're recalling them.
Look,
It's LT.
you can't
It's
pick
an-
on,
it's-
on
it's
V8
an LT now.
engines. Mine's at 430 miles, 430,000 miles right now.
Chris, does yours have an LT in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be happy it's not an L87 because they're about to recall everyone ever made.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're NHTSA just put out a bulletin that they're studying now recalling because they're having main bearing issues, which is really weird for GM. But my neighbor's on his third one, and he works for GM, so I like to give him shit.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but it's just,
Why not?
I mean, that's not common, to be very clear. But it's the new one. It's the L87, so it's the one that has runs on 2 cylinders instead of, if you want to. It's all the
Yeah.
crap they had to add for the emissions.
Emissions.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, once you mess with that, the whole deleting cylinders stuff, you just can't do it.
Yeah,
It
it makes it
it's
run
meant
rough.
to fire. It's meant
Yeah.
to fire.
Yep.
Don't mess with an engine. You can't
Yeah.
mess with it.
Yeah, it'll be. But yeah, what was the actual question you asked me? I don't even remember.
The one that I asked.
The one Gabe asked.
If the
What,
more
what,
the
what is Stellantis going to fuck up this year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the luxury stuff. No, I think you'll still see. I don't see the Wagoneers going anywhere, or the Grand Wagoneers, or the more premium Grand Cherokees. They sell well enough that I don't think those are going anywhere.
All right, so last question before we go. Do you have any words for your Ohio State friends? Any words of encouragement for next year against Michigan?
All I said, I think I can't remember if it was Doug, Candace, or both of them. I said, they'll just be like, hey, do you guys remember that year that Ohio State won the Natty? They'll be like, oh yeah, you mean the year they lost to Michigan? Yeah. I mean, good for them, but I don't know. I will give them credit. So Ohio State has been I'll call it. They tend to do good every year, right? I mean, they're always like in the hunt, right?
Right.
They're not like, I mean, Michigan. My son goes to Michigan State, so I don't feel totally bad bashing Michigan. I mean, they won the Natty last year, and they barely finished 500 this year. I mean, that's an epic.
It's a wild
turn
turnaround.
of events. Yeah, they still beat Ohio State though. So I mean, in the grand scheme, that probably made him happy. That's probably the only highlight of the year. I don't think Ohio State will go from winning this year to not making the top 20 next year.
Yeah, not with that level.
Doug will still say Fire Day. He says it still every day. But they're
the guy with the marker beard.
Yeah, it's a big. My son was a huge Michigan fan, and then I don't know, like a year ago, he's like, "I'm going to go to Michigan State." And I was like his mom and I were like, "What? You're gonna?" So he took his Michigan blanket to Michigan State, and he has it hidden under his other blanket because it's the only blanket he had. And he's like, "I'm afraid somebody's going to steal it if I wash it." So he brings it home when he comes home and washes it, and that's it.
That's
I
funny.
was like, makes sense.
How is the family, by the way?
Good. Yeah, I mean, my daughter's in college in Texas, and then Caden's at MSU, and then Tyler turns 10 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Time flies.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks for
Well,
coming on. Thanks for answering all of our
one-
questions.
I have one
Oh, you
last
have an-
question.
Okay.
I have one last question. I've been wanting to ask this for years.
Okay.
What was your inspiration to start ducking on Jeeps?
I'm not even going to answer that. I refuse.
You can just tell him to fuck off.
I'm trying to remember. Was it
Who
was it your-
Who at Stellantis decided that was a good idea? Come on, can you tell us? Was it the CEO that got fired? Is that
Oh
the
no,
reason
it
he
was
got fired?
somebody. It was a lady in Canada that started doing it during COVID. Yeah. Now I can't remember who decided to promote it here, but yeah, no, it was a lady in Canada that started doing it during COVID.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Is it,
Is
Dave,
that
was
the
it
one that
your
died?
Jeep that I was it when you still had your Jeep that I ordered
it was
like
a
100
it
of
was-
those ducks and
It
they
was
dumped
Smoky
them?
Mountain.
Yeah.
The Smoky
Yes.
Mountain. Yeah, and I ordered like 500 of them, and they never
they
showed up
didn't
to
turn
the
up.
to the cabin.
Thank God.
I just remember us chatting like we should do this. I'm like, Amazon,
Yep.
they're on the way.
I did it, but we didn't know that there was an address number that was different from what they gave us for the reservation, and
Right.
they would never deliver to the house. I'm like, fucking really?
Yep. Your Jeep was
Thank
gonna
God.
full to the roof.
Yeah, I have a
glad-
handful of them. That's it.
I'm glad that never came to fruition because I would have been like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. Who's responsible?
The
Would've
intent
made
was to
good
try to get it
deals.
level with the top of your half doors. That was the goal, so that when you open the door, that just was an avalanche of ducks.
Just like everywhere.
I don't think any of us did the math on how many ducks that would actually take, because that would have been
Yeah,
like
yeah,
tens
A
of
lot.
thousands. But
yeah. It would have
yeah.
been way more than we were willing to buy.
yes,
Yep.
Well, listen, again, thanks for coming on. Thanks for answering our stupid questions. And I hope the new CEO, whoever it's going to be,
Maybe it's gonna be Scott.
takes orders
Not
from
gonna-
you. Takes orders from
Scott,
you.
right. I wouldn't want that job. No way.
It's gonna be Scott, and we can really blame him for everything.
Yeah, that's,
No,
that's why you
we
guys
don't
want
want-
it, so you can blame me.
Yeah, we don't want Scott as the CEO because he might get Luigi'd.
That's true.
Don't want that to happen.
Oh, very
All right.
good.
Well,
Thanks, Scotty.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Sorry,
we appreciate
sorry,
it.
my camera quality and microphone quality aren't. I promise a year from now, if we do this again, I'll buy equipment.
Okay.
Third year's a
Deal.
charm.
Deal. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on Jeep stuff, look for Scott on Facebook and send him a friend request. Maybe he'll answer.
And his personal phone number is
yeah.
just
It'll go on my list of 800 friend requests I never replied to.
And make sure you ask Scott for a friends and family code for your next Stellantis vehicle.
Yeah, let me give everybody my social too while we're at it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Top it off.
Yep. Hey, what was
All
your
right, everyone.
what was your street address for the Christmas card, Scott?
We'll catch you next time, everyone. Thanks for listening.
All
Thanks
right,
for watching.
See ya.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks for
Scott.
having me.
See ya.